Well, this is the math we are going to solve today. As usual, I have already prepared my table for solving this problem. Along with the table, I attached three images of my presentation that are taken from earlier videos. This image is for summarizing the basic concepts of classifying debit credit, and the other two are from the lecture video chapter 2, and they are showing the various categories of accounts. We will use it when we will need it. Okay, let's read the requirements. Calculate the debit and credit of the above transactions. Identifying accounts in the book of Mrs. Joya and Kong. Okay, so in my table there is a serial numbers because there is no date, so I will use this serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And related accounts, column number 2, and then there is increase or decrease. We will identify the increase and decrease in various related accounts, and we will assign debit and credit to the accounts, and finally we will write the amount of the accounts. Okay, so let's start. 1. Mrs. Joya Hassan has made additional investment in Taka 20,000. Okay, so we already know when we make any investment, it increases cash in the business and ownership, that is called capital, in the business as well. Okay, so we can write in number 1, serial number 1, and here we can write cash account. Related accounts are cash account and capital account. Okay, so we have identified the related accounts. Now we will analyze either it is decreased or increased. Okay, since cash inflowed into the business, so cash must be increased, so we will write here increase. Okay, and as well it also increased the capital of the owner, so we will write here increase as well. Okay, now we know and we can check it also. Cash is an asset account, and asset account is usually a debit account, and when it increases we will debit it, so we can write here debit. Sorry, only debit, not debit and credit. Right. Okay, then capital account, it also increased, so we can check here from capital is a category of owner's equity. So owner's equity is a credit account, and credit account when increases we will credit it, so we will write here credit. Okay, and the amount as usual 20,000, and there is nothing new. Okay, so number 1 done. Okay, 2. Number 2, computer purchase for office Taka 25,000. We know when we purchase something we have to pay cash, so cash decreased, and as we received computer, so another asset increased. So in number 2 we can write first account is we have to write office equipment. We cannot write computer. For computer we have to write office equipment. Okay, equipment account and cash account. Okay, since the business of Joya Hassan received a computer, so it will definitely increase the office equipment or asset account, so we can write here increase, and since we made the payment of the purchase by cash, so cash must be decreased, so we have to write here decrease. Right. Then since asset account named office equipment increased, so we have to write here debit. And since as any asset account when decreased, we have to write credit, so cash account decreased, so we will write here credit. So for increase in asset we have written debit, and for decrease in asset we write here credit. Okay, so the amount is 25,000. This is 25,000, sorry, 25,000. Right. Okay, number 2 done. Okay, let's read number 3. Office rent paid in advance for 3 months, taka 18,000. Okay, office rent paid but in advance. So when we pay any expense in advance, it is considered as asset. So here prepaid office rent is an asset account. Prepaid office rent is an asset account. So let's write 3. This is prepaid office rent account, and since we have paid, so cash must be here, so cash account. Okay, for payment of prepaid office rent account, asset has increased, so increase, asset increase, and due to payment of cash in decreased, cash decrease. Okay, so asset increase we have to write debit, and asset decrease we have to write credit. All right, and this is 18,000. 18,000 debit, 18,000 credit, and done. Okay, number 4, sold to Rajan, taka 25,000. Since there is no mention of cash, rather mention of a name called Rajan, so we have to consider this transaction as a credit transaction. And we know from our previous class that when we sell any goods to any person on credit, we have to write debit account, we have to write debtor account, sorry, we have to write debtor account. So for this transaction number 4, we have to write debtor accounts. You can write accounts receivable, or sometimes some teachers recommend to write accounts receivable rather debtors. You can write whatever you like. So debtors account and sales account. Sales account, of course, because we sold goods to Rajan, and we know debtors is an asset account for asset, and since we sold to Rajan, so it is increased, so increase, and sales account also increase because we have some revenue from the sale, so increase. Right. For increase in debtors, that means asset account, we have to write debit, and increase in revenue account, we can check from here revenue account. When this is usually credit account, when increase we have to credit it, so we write here credit. Right. Okay, then the amount is 25,000. Okay, 25,000 debit, 25,000 credit. All right. Then done with number 4. Now we will move on to number 5. Bank charge taka 1500. Bank charge taka 1500 means bank have taken away 1500 taka from our bank account. That means our bank account amount in our bank account reduced because of this charge, and bank charge is an expense account, so we have to write the related account as bank charge. This is the name for expense, and bank account credit, bank account, this is the asset account. Here bank charge account is the expense account and bank account is the asset account. We can check it from here. Here it is, bank account is an asset account, and I don't know here is it or not. No, there is no mention of bank charge, but from our common idea, we know when anyone charges something from us, it is actually an expense. So we can decide from our diagram, that is bank charge account increase because it occurred and we have to pay it, so it has increased, and bank account, since amount of 1500 has been deducted from our account, so it reduces bank account, so decrease. So bank charge account increased and bank account decreased. So when any expense account increases, we write it as debit. So here we will write debit, and for decrease in an asset account, we will write it as credit. So I am writing it here, credit. Right. Okay, the amount is 1500. Okay, 1500. Okay, done. Okay, 6. Number 6, we have to write here withdrawn from bank taka 6000. Withdrawn from bank taka 6000. When we withdraw from bank, we actually extract cash from bank account. So the related accounts are cash account, and since we withdraw the cash from bank, so the other account is bank account. So the related accounts for this transaction are cash account and bank account. So since we have extracted cash from the bank, so it increased, that means cash increased and bank decreased. Okay, so for increase in asset, we have to write debit, and for decrease in asset, bank is also a asset account, we can see here, so we have to write credit. Right, so this is 6000. This is 6000. Okay, 6 done. 7, let's see. Goods purchased on credit taka 15,000. We know from our previous class that when we will purchase any goods any goods from any person on credit, creditor's account increased. Creditor's account increased. So for this, and commonly we know purchase is an expense account. Purchase is an expense account. So we have to write here purchase account and creditor's account. For purchasing on credit, we have to write creditor creditors account. Since expense increase, so we have to write increase, and creditors account also increased. For increase in expense account, we have to write debit, and for increase in creditors account, this liabilities, creditors accounts actually liability falls on liabilities, for increase in liabilities we have to credit it, so we can write here credit, right? Okay, the amount is 15,000, so 15,000 debit, 15,000 credit. Now number 8. Wages paid taka 3,000. Paid means we have an expense. So any transaction where we paid any something, that means we have expense. The related accounts are expense, and of course the other one is cash. So number 8, we can write the name of the wages account, and the other one is cash account. You can see here, this is expense account, and then here is the wages. I recommend you to read or study these charts from my previous video lesson. It will help you in every cases of your accounting study. Okay. So for wages account, there is an increase in the business, increase the expense, and cash decreased because of the payment of the wages, and because since wages is an expense account and it has increased, so we have to debit it, and cash decrease, so we have to credit it, because we know when any asset account to decrease we have to credit it, and the amount is taka 3,000. Okay, 30,000. Sorry, 3,000 debit, 3,000 credit. Right. We will see now number 9. Okay. Purchase return taka 2,000. That means you returned goods that was purchased earlier. You can say on number 7 number transaction, goods purchased on credit taka 15,000. Now in number 9 you are returning some of them, and it worth taka 2,000. So we have to write here just the opposite of number 7. In 7 we wrote purchase account and creditors account. Here we have to write creditors account, and for instead of purchase we have to write purchase return, because we have returned goods worth taka 2,000. Since creditors account has decreased because we returned the goods, and purchase return is opposite of expense account, or you can for the time being can consider it as a revenue account. So for decrease in creditors, and for a revenue account or opposite of expense account. We know in accounting that is any opposite account is just opposite of its original account. That means when any account is debit, its opposite account must be credit. Okay. So here purchase return account just opposite of purchase account, so we have to write here increase, and for decrease in creditors we have to write debit, and for purchase return we have to write credit. We can check it from here. Creditors is a liability account. When decrease we have to debit it. So for creditors creditors being decreased we have to write debit, and purchase return account, which is an opposite of expense account. So because of purchase return we increase, we have to write it as credit. Okay, right. Now the amount is 2000 debit, 2000 credit. Okay, done. Now finally we reached to number 10. Okay, deposited into bank taka 10,000. That means you have deposited cash into the bank, so cash decreased, bank account increased. We know everything. We can solve any accounting problem now, right? All right, then write bank account and cash account. Remember that you have to write all time the increase or account first. So bank account increase and cash account decrease. Okay, so for increase in an asset we have to write debit, and for decrease in an asset we have to write credit. Okay, 10,000 debit, 10,000 credit. All right, we are done. We know everything. We are expert in accounting. Okay, so here is the solve of this type of practice problem. I think you all have understand very easily. If there is any problem, please know me by writing in the comment section, and please share, subscribe, and please share, subscribe, and we will meet in another video. Okay, thank you.